Well, Mayor Bob, welcome back to Mayor's Monday. Or
It's already been another month. Wow.
I know, right?
Time just flies when you're having fun.
What was it last month? I told you I was going to go on vacation in the next week after we had filmed, and I expected to see a lot of things done in the city of Wausau.
Well, we're fast. We try to be in government, but we are government, so there you go.
So a few of the things, though, I noticed when I got back. I noticed great progress on the new fire station on the east side there by where I live. I've noticed a lot of great progress in the YMCA project. Things again take time like this, but there's progress being made on them.
Well, again, the city of Wausau has undertaken the last couple of years, maybe very aggressively, and in some cases because we had to, as far as our infrastructure and public things like that. All of us use the roads, all of us use the water and sewage, but different projects that are going on, as you said, the fire station, Aspirus, many different road projects throughout the area. Yes, sometimes it's inconvenient to get through there, but when it's all said and done, and everything is on schedule right now too, folks, keep it going that way. But seriously, when it's all said and done, it's just gonna look great, and it's just one of those things that makes our area just a wonderful place that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of those projects as well that's been, much talked about, much stalled, the riverfront development. I know you're still waiting on a few permits and things like that on that side of things, but even though there's not necessarily progress being made right there, there's still people working behind the scenes.
There's still people working actually down there as far as cleaning it up and getting it set to go. The good news is, yes, construction should start here by the end of the month. I've been told they're going to go at it fast and furious, so to speak. They want to get things in place before winter starts, and I sure do hope that they can do that. But the good news is the project has started. There's other things going on in that area. We've had several new businesses come into our business industrial complex in the park that we opened up here 2 years ago. It's really a great time here in Wausau as far as economic development and job creation. Last year we got recognized by the Federal Bureau of Statistics, Labor Statistics, that Wausau in the metro area, was the best city in Wisconsin to have that. And I'd kind of be really happy if I could go for it for 2 years. We'll see what happens. It's a little early to say, but indications are here in the first part of the 6 months of July 2019, things are off to another great start. The economy is going. You strike it while you can. As I've said before, businesses are wanting to come to Wausau. I'm going to say it's never been this good before because there really are a lot of good positive things happening. And I think residents and people can see that. And in marketing Wausau, myself and staff, it is a great place to live. Like any other town, we have our issues and challenges, but we address them, and things are getting better, and we're going to go in that direction.
Yeah, and one of those issues that you've really been addressing, you kind of head on it as fast as you can. Again, we mentioned you're still government, so things don't always get done as fast as
we try.
The Riverside Park soil testing, a little bit of a contentious meeting about it, last week, but from the sounds of it, things are going to be moving forward. You're going to get citizen involvement with it as well, which is, always a good thing as well, because as Pat Peckham told me last week, we're doing this for what's good for the residents of Wausau and the residents of all Wausau. And this testing, it's going to get done, but it just might not get done as soon as some people
Well, here's the thing. This is something that's been there, that was an industrial area 60 to 70 years ago. This isn't something that's just happened here recently. But, to be fair, from both a fiscal sense, as far as spending money on testing, that's one thing, which I would just soon carry on over into next year, because that way I'll have money set aside for it. The city of Wausau, just as we were with Thomas Street, we're letting people do testing, our own testing. We've really acknowledged this, and it's been recognized even by the citizen group that though it's something that might have been carried over, we've at least addressed it, and we tried to answer residents' concerns. I don't know if contentious would be that meeting. It was interesting, but just the same, people have that right to speak, and a good dialogue every now and then, an expression of feelings is a good thing. The thing is, and this is the truth, we're not there to mislead anybody. I think it's been shown that the city has gone above and beyond in trying to get these problems resolved. Here's the other thing, though, going back to, like I said, the problems that have been there for 60 to 70 years, maybe even more. It wasn't the city of Wausau that caused these issues. And Waleco and that site right next door, they're in the middle of a study right now and testing that they're doing in conjunction with the DNR, and then the DNR will show us those results in November. It'd be kind of foolish, I think, from a fiscal sense to spend any money this year when it's something we can take care of next spring. But more importantly, it shouldn't be on us, it should be on Waleco. If they caused the problem, if they caused the mess, or whoever their subsidiary was, why should the city of Wausau have to pay to get that cleaned up? And if we go trolling down there right now and doing something, we're probably going to be liable to do it ourselves. And that's just not going to happen. So like I said, from a sense, both fiscal responsibility and just common sense as far as, going into next spring, if this is not on us, which it isn't, the right thing to do is wait to see what that report is from Waleco and the DNR and the results, and then make Waleco pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that I think, we maybe haven't talked enough about in this process. Who knows, maybe that's somebody calling right now with some results. But one thing I don't think we've talked about enough is the fact that, whoever does the testing will be responsible for cleaning up the park to the
Right.
DNR standards. And do you have any indication right now as to just exactly what that would be? What maybe Waleco's investment would be, what the city would be liable for, or is that something that is that what you're waiting for?
Well, that's what I want to wait for. Technically, it's not on the city of Wausau. We didn't create the situation. We shouldn't have to pay for it. That was done by the industrial complex that had been there for years before. And, we want to work with everybody and try to find a workable solution for the residents, for Waleco, answer the DNR and obey their wishes and commands. But again, I can't stress this enough. The city of Wausau did not cause this problem. If we start digging down there right now, it's probably going to be on us as far as cleaning it up. We can wait another 6 to 8 months or whenever spring is finally here to do more testing, but it will be on Waleco. But if something does happen, as I've said all along, I'm open-minded to doing the testing, but it shouldn't just be incurred upon us entirely as far as financial. But again, it's not a situation that we caused, but we've really gone above and beyond in trying to answer residents' concerns in that area. And we've been told by the DNR, Department of Health Sciences, that the city has gone above and beyond in addressing those concerns. It wasn't done that way before. In the last couple of years it has been, and it's been acknowledged as so by that group. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just too early to see what the cost would be. But as you can see, I want to put it on Waleco and not us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair to the taxpayers or the residents. We didn't create the situation.
Absolutely. And one other thing we wanted to talk about before we let you go here this week, it's actually going to be coming up this week, and that's going to be a joint meeting regarding the future of the Wausau Center Mall. I mean, again, another one of those topics, how many times, how many different ways can we tell the story? But it looks like we're finally going to be getting somewhere and finally going to be, seeing a clear future maybe for this building in the next couple of weeks.
It's a little early. There are some things happening. This is not on the city. I stress this to people all the time. I just was talking with somebody yesterday, and they think the city owns the building. We do not own the building. Again, to remind folks, we do own the parking structures and the land underneath it. That said, there's been some local interest, if you will, from the business and foundation communities as far as possibly purchasing that building. And we're involved as far as some guidance and giving up some things possibly. We're just in the middle of talks right now. There has been no final sale at this point. But the good news is there's local interest in doing something with that building to save it. If you notice here the last couple of years, whenever something was being talked about the mall, it was always done by the city as far as an initiative that we started. And we didn't spend a lot of money in doing so, but we got the message out there that, this is still a very good building, something could be done with it. The good news is it looks like some things are happening. I'm hoping within a month or so to 6 weeks that we've got some news, if not quicker, that we've got some news as far as some positive development with the Wausau Center Mall.
Yeah, because the company that owns it currently or has been putting it up through sale through this RFP,
Right,
almost reverse RFP process.
Right.
They're a Miami company. What do they care about what happens in Wausau? As long as the bills are getting paid at that building, which of course that's another issue for another time. But when you turn it over to somebody that's local, I think the chances are better that you're going to see that building thrive in the next few years.
I would agree. And we had some hopes that Rialto would follow through with what they promised. It did not happen. Again, though, we're kind of hindered because since we don't own the property, we can't tell them what to do. But I was very direct with them last November. They came to an ask from the city. I said, that's not going to happen, and obviously you're not interested in the future of our city. You should sell it to somebody who is. And it took a couple of months, 6 months, whatever later, and they have. And I'm hoping to have some news about some things changing and some things coming there, hopefully in the next couple of weeks to a month or so.
But
it's a little early to talk right now.
Yeah, still a little early to say what might be filling some of those empty shots.
Oh, it's way too early. And again, the city is not going to own it. It's just too early to talk about that at this time. I'm not trying to be misleading. I just don't want to say something I shouldn't, number one, or think that, this is what's going to happen. Folks, you got to give it some time so that we can go through the procedure correctly and legally. The good news is there's some local interest in renovating and doing something with that building. I'm very happy and very positive about that and optimistic that something's going to change and fairly quick.
Again, we'll look forward to that. That's going to be another joint meeting coming up later this week. Finally, we just, football season kicked off last week. We can't not talk about football a little bit.
I predict
in the segment as I move the camera. Of course, everybody can see the decoration there at the top of the office.
As you can see,
food and football, not necessarily in that order, but
not going to go there. So
well, good to have football back, though.
Yes, it is. This time of year, it's a little crisper and stuff like that. And we know what's coming, but summer was great. It always goes by way too fast. I'm always optimistic with the Packers. We'll see what happens because I think it's going to be a rebuilding year. But that's part of the thing about loving football or sports in general, being somewhat competitive. It's like life. You don't get everything you want coming your way, but when you do, it just makes it that much more special. So yeah, I'm glad football has started. And for the local teams too, for the high schools and everything. It's always a quandary for the log game when we go that, okay, my wife and I are both East graduates, but our kids went to West and we live on the West side, and so we kind of alternate year by year depending. But, that's just one of those cool things about living in Wausau. But yeah, I'm glad the fall is here.
Absolutely. And just again, only thing I ever ask of you in a season like this is you don't hold the fact that reporter Liz is a Bears fan against her and still continue to treat her fairly in the media.
I don't mind the Bears. Vikings might be another story, but we won't get into that because I know there's Viking fans out there too. But no, in closing, there's just so many good positive things happening. I honestly love what I do. And Wausau's going on the right path, and we'll keep it going that way.
Absolutely. Well, as always, we appreciate the time, appreciate your service, and we'll look forward to chatting again next month.
I appreciate the time you take with me, too. Take care, Wausau.